Have you ever gone on a vacation and you've been so immersed in a relaxing moment that time seems to slow down? Or maybe you lose track of time altogether and you're just fully absorbed in that moment? What does your vacation mode look like when you are totally immersed and enjoying the moment, fully present with what you're doing, and perhaps alone or in company, but just immersed? I was meditating earlier and I had this experience of feeling like I was on vacation. Time had disappeared and I was just with the mind resting and at ease and relaxed. And although I have lots of things on my to-do list, that all kind of melted away. It's like I'm on a real vacation. And it reminded me, that experience, of how important it is to be able to tap into that state of rest and that state of playfulness where the mind isn't under the stress of constant tasks and urgency, and to be able to give it that spaciousness. And after that, I was curious and asked my 9-year-old son, who was close by, I asked him, what does your vacation mode look like for you? What words come to your mind? And he said, warmth, calmness, clear mind, green color of trees, smiles and laughter, singing birds, and feelings of happiness, and letting go of your stress and feeling free to feel whatever is present. And he said it feels loose and it's letting go of worries, even though I don't have them much. And then he said to me his words, nice talk, and he dashed off to go play. And I thought, well, fair enough. And so I extend this question for practice, this question of what does your vacation mode look like, to tap into that feeling and to explore ways, if you're under a lot of stress, and if you experience the mind racing, if you experience the mind feeling restless, constantly problem solving, and difficult to transition to rest and to play and to be present with your loved ones or just with yourself, then I encourage you to watch and share this with anyone else who may be experiencing that, because this is about how do we tap into that rest and that play on demand. How do we not just have to wait for a vacation? And some of us go on vacation, and even if we don't take our work with us physically or in our laptop or whatnot, we take it with us mentally, right? With the ruminating thoughts and the constant planning. And even if we are able to unplug on an official vacation, if we struggle with doing that, even in the day-to-day, this could be a resource for helping to find ways to unplug, even in small moments, so that we don't have to wait for the vacation. So I invite you to visualize, to take a moment. Let's just take a minute or two, and you can close your eyes if it helps you to visualize, and bring to mind what does your vacation mode look like when you are really unplugged and not stressing, not worried about the next thing, and really just able to relax and take a load off. Drop whatever tensions and worries have been with you, and what are you doing? What does that rest look like? What does that play look like? Visualize, how are your senses engaged? A sense of sight. What are you seeing? Or smelling? Or tasting? Hearing? Feeling? When you're fully present and aware and relaxed, what are you doing? What are you not doing? If you drop into that space of spaciousness, relaxation, just noticing how that feels, those moments. And imagine yourself clearing the clutter of thoughts and tasks, like you might clear a desk of all the things on top of it. Maybe that's with one big sweep, clearing it off, or whether that's organizing things neatly, but putting it aside one way or the other. Just experiencing that openness, that space. If you're working on the computer a lot, it might be like closing all the browser tabs, or restarting the computer, shutting it all the way down. Can you do a reboot for the mind? Just clearing it all out for a moment, giving yourself permission to put things down. And just giving yourself the one task. You got one task. That's just to be present with what's here and now. And if you want to continue this visualization, you can pause the video here and keep going into that zone. But what feels significant to me about this practice is, can I at will turn on vacation mode? And it's not even about vacation, right? It's not about an actual vacation, but rather about creating the space to be free to play and to rest as a part of balance with important work as well, right? Doesn't mean like a dualistic separating of either work or play or good or bad, but is there balance? And can I create that balance? And am I paying attention to do that? And what tools do I need for that? So that may all sound nice and good, right? But what about all the barriers that prevent resting or prevent playing or that keep that constant urgency going? Things like, I don't have time, got too much work to do, or I don't have money, I don't have the resources to be relaxing like that, or I'm too needed. There's too much urgency and people need me and I can't put down that responsibility to indulge. Sometimes it's perceived as an indulgence to rest and to play or to be on vacation, and we don't give ourselves permission because of that. Or sometimes there's guilt, feeling guilty about taking a break when others are working so hard, or when others are suffering, or people we care about need us, or we feel that we're always needed. And all of that can be true at different moments. And I think the invitation here is, can that be true, and can there also still be opportunities if we were to reframe any of those challenge it into an opportunity where, in the midst of all this urgency, for example, am I maybe not as needed as I think I am? Because probably the hard truth for most of us is that the world is going to go on even when we take a break, right? Even if it's a vacation. And sometimes we can get caught up in self-importance about how vital we are to everything working. And that may be true in some cases, but that also may be an opportunity to, how do I help other folks to have that autonomy if there's so much dependence, right? Just for one. For another, just let's take the guilt, for example. I feel guilty about taking a break, but really, if I'm going to be at my best to be of service, I got to rest, right? I got to get sleep. I'm not going to be making my best decisions if I just go 2 days, 3 days without sleeping. So, that's an extreme, but when I can give myself permission to rest and to play and to let my mind be in a different state other than stress and work, or stressful work, I should say, then I'm replenishing, I'm recharging. Which, can we first notice what are the obstacles and the perceptions? What are the barriers that we are mentally, consciously or unconsciously believing that prevent us from having a vacation or having rest and play? So first, recognizing that. Second, pivoting and looking at, well, where's the opportunity? Even if I don't have the money to go on a escape to a beach, literally for a week, right at this moment, where is my opportunity just in this day to rest the mind fully and enjoy the moment fully, whether that's with my loved ones or just quietly taking in a moment, taking in a walk, right? What am I doing with intentionality? What can I look forward to in my day that is going to be inspiring or bring me joy, right? And so looking for the opportunity to be in vacation mode, even in small moments, is the invitation. And what's a mind state or the qualities when I'm on vacation that I would like to experience more in daily life? It's an invitation to name that and find opportunities to experience that. So I want to keep this video fairly short, so I'll close here. But if you're interested in exploring more ways to deepen this power of being able to rest the mind and relax and play and shift and pivot into that mind state at will, we can explore with more tools like guided meditation or practices for mindfulness in daily life on this theme. If that's of interest to you, subscribe and send me a comment in the chat. And yeah, happy to put a resource together. All right, take care.